expect. I try never to expect I will. Okay. Right, okay, let's go. Come join me. We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4. Relax your arms a bit. 1, 2. Let your body turn. Lift your arms rather than you pushing them up there. 2, 3, 4. That's a bit better. Left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Reaching up. 1, 2. Hands on your knees, turn to the left and sink down to the back leg. 1, 2, then we swivel around. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Good. Up and up. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With the bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Covering your hand, extending your fingers back towards your wrist, whilst letting your elbow drop down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Left. 2, 3, 5. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stretch. So the finger increase the wrist. Come around a little bit more. Come right into right across. And you're dropping down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Swapping hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And swap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And swap. 2, 3. Palm out, thumb down, fingers over the top, thumb down the back. Just below shoulder height, twisting the wrist a little bit this way whilst extending it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Other hand. 2, 3, 4. And then a good shake. Chris has come for a ringside seat.
Test space today.
Okay, that's nice. Good. Round. Nice and relaxed in the lap. We'll move from the time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sliding to the left, looking to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't need to put your hand on your head, you can both on your lap. 1, 2, let go, she said. 3, 4, 5. Left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kneel up. Hands in front, rest your forehead on the floor. And just relax. Breathe. Draw your head forward along the ground, and as you pass your hands, you're going to arch up. And up. And towards, keep it low, keep your hips low. When you finish, you want your hips on the floor and your head looking to the front. One more. Good. Toes underneath. Like that. Come up into the plank. Forward. So, that's okay. Just go back and see you on the downward facing dog. Indian movements. Just relax. Walk your feet to your hands. Keep it on your hands. And just move. And you can slowly release your hands and unfold. Marvelous. A little bit of a shoulder roll. Okay, and then back the other way. Okay, and then turn your wrist like this, and then back the other way, and then bring your hips in. Okay. So comfortable. So today we're going to focus on the idea of circularity, because circles in particular play a huge part in Aikido, but I think also we can think of spheres. So obviously that's about circularity as well, but it's more than just a circle. So when you think of a hole, what shape do you see?
When I think of
A hole. If I say the word hole, what shape comes to mind?
usually circle.
Yeah. So I think that's probably true for most of us. When we think of a whole, we think of circles. When we think of a whole being, we think of circles. When we think of whole systems like planets, we think of circles. And really, I think when we play with Aikido, we talk about a center. And we're thinking of a center of a circle. And really in Aikido, what we are trying to do is develop a habit of extending in all directions. So not just to the front, because something's in front of you, but it's backwards, it's forwards, it's sideways, it's all angles. It's just radiating out from you. So if you think of a light bulb, the light doesn't particularly go in a particular direction unless the lens is such that it would. If it's a round bulb, the light just goes out. If you think of the sun, the light just goes out. So also when we think of circles, there's a real strength and solidity to a circle. Would you say that's fair? There are no angles. There are no obvious points that you can attack. That's kind of where I'm coming from. So it's a very strong movement, and it's hard to defend against, and it's hard to attack. So if I'm spinning, and someone tries to grab hold of me, there's a centrifugal force that makes it very difficult for them to control me. If I'm moving in a linear way, it's much more easy to control me. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at lots of our classic moves, but we're going to try and see where the circularity comes into it. Okay, so Jay, please, you grab my wrist. Right, so good. So you're trying to hold on and not let me get in. Okay, so if I come straight, it's really tough work. But if I agree with you and I turn my hips, all of a sudden this becomes very easy. So try to walk in against it. No, I can't do. Try to walk away from it. It's hard. Come to your side with this circular movement, and it becomes very easy. So that's what we're going to do today. Right, first you're going to relax.
Yes.
And relax that too. Ah, that's already tense.
I'm trying to push you.
Okay,
Good.
go for it. But even when you're pushing, be relaxed when you do it. Yes. So if you come hard, I react, and then you feel discomfort. He's stopping because it's uncomfortable to come any further. Am I holding hard or light?
Yeah, I remember the last time we said so. As soon as I feel the wall, it's time for
You can feel that you're hitting a barrier.
Yes.
Right. So remember, this is your space. You've taken control of that. I'm not going to try and enter it, so I'm going to let you have it. Yeah. So I don't try and come in against that. So if I just now I'm fighting it.
That's what I was trying. Yeah.
I'm going to stay on this borderline. And it might be actually that your space is not just here. It could be to me if you're extending, in which case I'll react from that point. You've got to find out where the border is. Don't try to enter, go around it. This is moving, keep that there. Right, you're not allowed to move your arm. You're moving your arm. No, you're moving it because you can feel it, can't you? So this, I'll move that to there because there's no reaction. But if I do that, can you feel, did you feel yourself come forward?
Yes.
So I've just got to go up. There's no movement there. Any more than that, I start to see movement in it. I've gone too far. That's enough. Now we're aligned. That's going to stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there until I'm right by your side. What you can do is you can align. That's as far as it's going to go. And you have again. Move, pivot, don't move your arm at all. Leave your arm behind. Okay.
I think I have losing the strength.
I think you will. So we have to learn to let our partner have what they want to hold. Right? So this is still part of me, but for the moment I'm loaning this to you because you seem to want it, you're grabbing hold of it. So I don't try to fight against that at all. I'm saying, oh, you can have this bit, but you can't stop my movement elsewhere. Right. And it's not dead. Can you feel that's no life in that? So if you wanted to push in, you could. Whereas this is alive still. I'm still extending the energy, and now if I can feel that, I will be going with it. Yeah, but that was a good test. Yeah. So there's protection here. It's not floppy dead arm, but I let you have it. Relax. That's the best way. Keep stepping back. Now, there. If your fingers are pointing towards your eyes like that, that's what will happen. If your fingers are pointing forwards, it's tougher to do that. Really. That's what I'm looking for. Yep, good. Let's try on the other side. Let's come forward. We don't need to hide. We might as well show these guys. So relax. That was good. Keep stepping backwards. So the last thing you need to move is this. Yep. My body comes in. I can already feel the barrier. So I'm not going to come any further. I'm going to step around now And it's only as I come by your side that there's a slight lift. But your body's already down, isn't it? You're already down here. So now I'm following that
Just
up.
like that.
So you're trying to go over there, and that means you're not leaving this here. Leave it. So the body, okay. Very, very good, except you forgot to come next to my side. You want to go right here. Okay, where are your fingers pointing?
Should be there.
Yeah, good. Now it's hard to lift you. What about this foot? Is that in your way? Yeah. Hard to get hold of. It's over there. So if you drag it back a bit, now you're a bit more safe. Yes. Good. Okay. Try the other side. Just enough. That's good. That's good. That's the best one you've done. Your other hand should be out. Other hand out as well. Yes. So now I'm going to try to lift. It's tough. You're going to test me at the end. You lift. You shouldn't feel really any resistance. You shouldn't feel me pushing you down. You should just feel like you've hit a block.
That's right. Yes.
Is that like controlling a large beach ball?
Well, what we're doing, Steve, is tying the henko essentially.
Because your hands are upwards, aren't they, with a big spear?
When we finish, it's like we're holding a tray. So I'm holding Jay with Katade Kosadori.
Right.
He's coming, turning in, stepping back, and that's good. Relax your arms a bit. That's what we're looking for. Tense them up. Make your arms.
Yeah.
So it's not strong. It feels like it should be strong, but it's not strong. Too much movement for the hand. You're respect what's going on. So if I'm holding that,
I forget this. Yeah.
so if I and now I'm not going to extend as much energy. So you can get away with that now. Because I'm not holding you so with so much energy. Okay. I'm holding you lightly, but I'm extending a lot of power. So you need to respect that. Come on, turn, 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 turn. Lovely, it's getting better and better. Very good. So we have a couple of circles in this. This is a bit of a circle here. I'm like going around, scooping around a circle to get to this point. And then there's this circle. And then when we get next to our partner's, into our partner's place, there are lots of things we could do, but like one of the first moves we ever do is to create a circle. Up, and then there's another, no, sorry, I didn't put your head. And there's another circle. This is a circular movement. It's not a smash down, it's in my head, there's a circle going on. And we are making big movement, I express it as well. Not so easy to see when I make the movement smaller. So now I lean forward and around. Hands to the floor, up, into my partner's place, and that's okay. Okay, now when you feel it, stop. That's as far as you want to go because you can't feel it. Now you turn the rest of your body. So I'm doing you a favour here, aren't I? Because it's not hurting now.
Great. Yeah.
Do it as good as that and then carry the movement on. Do what I did in that second part. Yeah, good. So you're going to lead me forward and around. Yes. And forward and around. Up. So be relaxed. Hands evenly down. Touch the floor. Hands up in the air. And let them fall to the side. Yep. In the end, you don't need to touch the ground. You just send your mind to the ground.
No.
But to develop that, touch it, throw it as high as you can imagine, and come to the side. So do just that bit. Legs apart, touch, up, and down. Yes. Okay, so just keep your hand like this. Thank you. But Natalia, I haven't got a chair, but I will try to do it from me. Okay, so I can't now, I'm going to assume I can't get into his side, but I can bring him to me. So there's still this circularity of movement. And actually, that would be fine. I'll do something else then. So, whilst I wanted to show you the 10 count, if that's not what emerges, I'll show you what emerges. Sorry, you can do this. Good, no further. Relax your arm. Fingers back. Pivot. In, that's nice. Round in a circle. Touch the ground. Up in the air. Was that as far as you could throw the ball in the air? Down. Up. My mind will follow your mind. So if your mind stops here, then I'll stop here. I'm pretty well set here. If your mind goes up there, I'm going to be like that, and then I'm easy to throw. So touch the ground, throw the ball, and settle. Don't turn. Watch my shape. You're going to mirror me. We'll do it together. Palms, touch, toss, and settle. Yes. Okay. Again. Which hand? Where are your hands? This way up. Down, up, second. Down, up, second. Yes, it should be there. Minor detail. Breathe. Now starts. Stay relaxed. Okay. So, shut your eyes. And work with what you feel, not what you see. So as you feel something, you've gone too far. So you work with what you can feel. If you can't feel anything, you've gone away. Wow, that was good.
I think closing eyes helps, yes.
Try. Develop that sense of what you feel. Going a bit too far. Remember. Nice. Okay, now we'll do the rest of the movement. Touch the floor. Throw the ball. Come on, throw the ball in the air. When you release your mind, then I will follow it. But if you're thinking about the next down, you're just going to settle in. And it's particularly true when you're working with somebody that's taller than you. Because their reach is higher than you.
Yes.
You can't discomfort my body, but what you can do is discomfort my mind. Nice. Walk around, gentle when you touch the floor. Right up. And that's the shape you want. Yes. And square. Yeah, so if as I'm throwing you, I am looking at you, that's where my mind is going. If I'm not looking at you, I'm looking about the up and the down and the down. And no, not there, because I can feel you on my wrist. I don't need to look at you to feel whether you're stretched or not. Now, release it up, not bad. Is that the stance you wanted to finish in?
No, I think I went too far that
You
way.
want to be with your feet parallel. Now, there's not one foot forward in front of the other generally, you're generally fairly parallel. And you want your partner close to you. Yeah. So I don't want to be doing it over here. I want to be here. Yep. So you can do it slowly so that you can relax and really relax as you're throwing your ball of energy in the air. We always throw a ball of energy. We never throw a rocket. It's another circle. Working on circles. You are too, yeah. That's a bit hard. You want your hands here. Okay. There, I'm the taller bloke. You've given me controls.
Those
right?
balances.
Here, you're working with your strength, which is you're lower than I am, so now I'm stretched. Other hand should be out in front of you. Touch. If you're ready, relax and go. Okay. That was the most power you've thrown me so far.
Okay. I think I had one because I still lost my balance that way.
When you go to this side. If we've got the rightness this time, I've changed it. Okay, so now we're going cat story. This is right to right or left to left. Again, if I go linear, this is tough. If I try to get away, it's tough. So I respect what's going on. I agree with the opinion. So I'm introducing some hip turn there. And as I'm coming down the other side, as my hip turns, this hand is aligning to the direction that he's going in. And at the same time, I'm coming in. So there's some circularity. This is a magnification of my hip turn. Yeah. And there's also turn here.
That's it.
So it's different. That's not the same, is it? It comes to a stop.
Yeah, you can tell me.
So now, because I'm holding my hand like this, as opposed to let it go into this position, it doesn't stop when I rotate it. So I'm turning my hips, my hands begin to open up. See how the movement continues. I'm drawing into my circle. Create a circle here. Oh, okay.
I think you're going to do I show something else.
And when he's taking a Kenny, that also often is usually very circular. There's a forward roll or even a backward roll. You know, you don't have to always go the full way, but people do. But wheels tend to work better when they're going round. If your wheel was made of a triangle or a square, it would be a bit uncomfortable. So when we're taking a Kami, circularity is really important. Okay, so this is not my arm movement. If I just do arm, it stops. He's got my arm. What I do is I turn my hips and it's linked to my arm. It's all one piece for me. Down, up. Would you like to try?
Yeah.
Come on, Laura. Oh, yeah. Okay, so start here. If you start there, it's very hard for you to stop that. If you start there, you can put up much more resistance. Can you feel that? Yes. Okay. Yes. So yes, you will need your other hand to control that. Because one thing with centrifugal force, circular power, is that as I turn, the faster it gets, the further she gets away from me. So it's very hard for me to throw at the end, she's just going to spin off. Which might be okay, but it's probably not ideal. So when I bring it, I keep her in my orbit, I keep her here, so she can't spin away. So there's another wrist turn here. There's a big circle here. There's a circle here. Okay. That was much better, Jay. So I control you here. So if you try to get away now, it's really difficult because I've got your head. Now don't let me take liberties with you, right? So when I try and pull your head, it stays there. So I'm very gentle when I move it. Yep. I gently bring it to you. That's hard to resist because I'm not really trying to force you. So you can do this. That's okay too because it's kind of good buddy stuff. and it has much the same effect, but you have more control when you come to here.
And also we break my balance with that.
Yes, it's already broken, really. Yeah. Okay. That's good. So you kept two in the middle. There's always something to look at, right? But this is like a blade. So you kept her towards you, so you corralled her in, but actually you want to touch.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems a bit, you know, it's quite an intimate art.
I know, because my previous incarnation, you would laugh, it was like this.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, carry on, you're doing a nice job. That's good, not bad. So try, when you're doing the final throw, let this fall and rise more. So you're doing it more like that, which is a small circle. I want you to let it fully be expressed. And your mind doesn't stop where your hand stops, it's going through the floor. And as it's coming up, it's big, it's radiating outwards. Okay, so do that slowly, please. And when I say stop, stop. Stop. Okay, so now she's got pretty good control of your wrist. She wanted to stop you lifting your hand, she could. Had you been there, you could carry on. Yeah, so remember you've got this turn too. You must be opening up. So that when you're dropping, your palm is facing the front. And as you come up, what you see is the back of your hand. So you should be looking at your palm. Not that you should be looking at your hand, but if you were, you can see your palm. And as you come up, you can see the back of your hand. Has it opened a little bit? It hasn't closed on the way back. So you know when we did that exercise at the beginning? This is that exercise in a dynamic movement. It's a figure of 8, it's infinity. You know, you didn't open up. You've got to open up. Stay closed.
Then you lose it.
I think because you're also trying, you're trying to force me now.
Just, yeah. Okay, we're on our way. We're on our way. So your finish was here, which was better than there, but I want it to be there. Yeah, I want it to be there. All of this is so that there are no stops. There's a stop there if I don't turn it. If I turn it, I can continue the journey. Okay, there's a stop here. So what I do is I turn my hips. I'm just using my hips. That's true. So often the secret of a move is that the one that, you know, they might have a limb, but they haven't got your hips. And we're generating power from our hips. So that circularity of our hip movement is really vital. As long as it's connected to our arm. I can turn my hip and leave my hand there, then it won't have any impact on her at all. But if all of this system is connected, when I turn my hips, my arm follows. Yep. So I'm going to go, and then we might let Laura have the go. We might. Remember to relax, don't grab her yet, you're doing it. And where should your handshake be? It takes less to do today, Jay.
Fine.
Now,
Fine.
so we'll take the head, and then we'll adjust as we come down, and now we have to turn that way. So when you did it at the beginning of the class, you didn't think about it, you did it nicely. Here, and then it closes. It opens, it closes. It opens, it closes. And actually the hip movement is pretty much the same. I'm bringing her round and then I'm taking her back. Bringing her round, taking her back. Bringing her round, taking her back. And all I've done changed from that beginning, so there's a bit more depth and there's a bit more height. Laura, you have a go. Just so we can check you're doing it. Better do. Right. Grab us on the wrist, her around the wrist. So, you're going to grab my wrist, but you know to right and forward. Okay? So, I can't get in straight, so I have to do this linear movement. I have to come right to her side. I've opened the wrist up. Now I can initiate the movement. Still don't want to come forward. Open the wrist. It won't happen. She doesn't want to go. I have to introduce that bit to get this thing going. Now you're looking to attack my space. Just get out of the way. All right, so on the one, she just wants to hold me. So the circularity, I have to enter. Right? So I'm entering and I'm turning and then I carry on. But if she's coming at me in power, I say, oh, I take a step back rather than a step in, but there's still the same hip turn, there's still the same connection to the wrist, there's still the opening of the wrist. Yeah. Have a go.
Oh.
So I know I'm not showing so much on the chair or kneeling here, Vitali, but the wrist movements are really important. That's something that you can apply in all your movements. Yeah. Open and close. But don't close the door, that door, close the door on that side. No, other way. So turning your hips. Right, okay, so what you did was you did exactly what I just said. You turned your hips, but you didn't do anything with your hand. It was disconnected from the rest of your body. So when you turn your hips, your arm is going as well. Yeah. It's not, I'm going to leave that there and now I'm going to do something. As my hips are turning, my arm is turning. Okay? Turning, turning, turning. It also always suggests circles, doesn't it? But it's closed, isn't it? You were in a closed position, you kept it closed, whereas it should be beginning to open up as you're coming in. Yes, go on. And not bad. That was a sort of 7 out of 10. Let's see if we can get it to an 8 or 9.
I'm fine.
As long as you're fine, we're fine. Hold that side. No, she's holding you. She got you first. Open up, open your wrist, turn your hips. Don't forget to close it on the way back. No, you didn't close it. So you came down on the palm. You forgot to open up.
Wow.
It's going to happen this time. Yes. One. Trust yourself. No. So as you're turning your hips,
It should be here in the first place.
no, that's fine, that's fine. So as you're turning your hips, you are, see, we've got the movement already. So if I have my hand here, in relation to my leg, so it's over my knee, over my foot. Agree? Is that the line?
Yep.
Okay, that's where it stays. It's still over my knee and over my foot. What I don't want to do is, oh now it's not over my knee or my foot. I've got a problem. Or I've got a problem. Yeah, so if it moves independently of the rest of my body, I get out of kilter. Here I can absorb a lot. Okay. There, not so much. There, not so much. So I want this to be kind of in my center. The energy, even if this is not directly here, the energy is going into a central point here. So I've already created this barrier around me. Yep. So when can she hit me? Okay, so that's about my barrier. So if I let her enter this space, can you hit me with that yet? No, she can't hit me. But if she enters that barrier, it's pretty easy to hit me. So I need to preserve this space. This is keeping me safe. This is a live energy space. Yeah, I can hold that. Yeah. Okay. This side. Good. Better still, let's do. Yes, that's a good start. Don't forget to change your hand. Yes. Right. Just a bit more wrist turn. That was so close. How do we offer our wrist? Not like that. Not with the other foot forward anyway. Other foot forward. Why that foot forward and not that one?
Unfortunately, I'm left-handed. That is why I have the foot forward.
Okay, but is there a practical reason why I'm saying that foot forward, not that foot?
Because you can, it's a distance between.
Let's try it. Put the other foot forward. So offering that wrist and this foot. So what can you do, Laura? You can hit. Okay. What about if you push? It's easier to overwhelm you. Right now, line up with the arm and the foot on the same side. You discern, Jay. So yeah, so you said you've got the wrong foot. That foot, that one back. Now, can she hit you now? Can you preserve that space? Yes, you can. You're now in control. What? See how much you've got a lot of strength here, and it's hard to move you. Other foot forward. Straight. So it's all the practical stuff. Get your body aligned. Away. And here, and here, and then down, and then close that wrist. That's a good idea. Is this a closed wrist? Which you want to be at the back of your hand. So, a circle that's not completed, it doesn't work very well. Try and complete the circle. Most of the times where you don't do a full circle, but on this occasion, you need to fully complete it. So, just doing the hand movement here. This is fine, this is fine, but I cannot come in. To carry on, I have to turn. Yeah. I haven't turned, she can hold it out, but when I turn, then I can take it.
Yes, that's me. I'm using my hips.
Yeah, but it's also because more that time it was about what I did with my hand. So, no, turn the wrist, yes. Actually, my hips followed my hands that time because she was falling, so I let my hips turn. But I didn't generate the movement from my hips, simply because I was trying to make a point about how important this is. Ordinarily, I would be doing this both at the same time. Make sense? Okay, Laura, you have a go. Yes. Hang on, this was on the plan. Because if she makes a mistake, I can stop her. Her mistake is this side. It needed to be that side. And I'm not consciously, I'm not looking for this. but because I'm extending, it will find out where there's an issue. Does that make sense? So if I give out my body, so I'll do the same thing. I'm cheating her, really, because I've decided I ought to fall at that point in time. My only job is, you do this slowly, is I'm extending my feeling at all times. I'm following, I'm following, I'm following. So if there's a mistake, it breaks down. And then she can look at it and think, oh, what did I do wrong? Maybe I'm there to guide her, but other times I'm not. She has to work it out herself. In the end, you're your teacher, not me. I'm here to provide a little bit of inspiration and to sink some ideas in. But once you've got the basic ideas, you build this house yourself. Okay, carry on. So don't let go of her wrist, keep following forward. So as you're here, like that, you let go there. So she could just smash you in the face at that point in time. So I'm going to hold on, thanks. She might hit me. I want to stop that. Okay, that's best.
I was hanging for that.
All right, we're going to try something. Okay, so here, I want this circle. So I'm going to turn my hips across. And I make sure that my wrist doesn't flip-flop about. This remains aligned. Yep, so this is one long line. And as I turn my hips in the end, I cross, and I get into this piece here if I carry on going. Now she's kind of stuck. So I can come down and up, over. It's just going to hook in to her direction. Here. Now. So there's a circle here. And then there's going to be a circle here. And guess what? My hips are following that. You notice that when she comes up, I'm underneath, but I'm extending. So she needs to keep extending. If she doesn't, she gets hit. If I stop extending, she can hit. So I'm protecting myself here. I'm following what she's trying to do. We stay stuck like glue. I said to you right at the beginning, we're always looking for boundaries. This is a great example of I'm operating on the boundary between her and me. I'm not, it's just like two balls rolling up against each other and rolling around. I don't try to puncture her ball, and I'm not going to let her puncture mine either. Does that make sense? Okay, let's give it a go. Okay, so you can't go under because you won't be able to hook in. You have to come that way. Oh, see, you've got movement. Now you can drop down. Hips are following. Don't need to grab. You just need to stick. If you grab, you're giving her something to work with. If you stick, she has to follow. On this occasion, we don't close. We stay here. So hook her in. Now down, stay there. This needs to come to there, and then that side.
Yeah, it's easier than the previous. I mean,
Yes,
better feeling this one.
So we have to come, so straight line. So you can pass over to the top. Down. So you grab this, and you should be now at this point like that. holding her out, and going that side of her
So
head.
again, the palm facing up.
Yes. So, palm is facing that way. Boom, still facing towards me.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm looking at the back of my hand. So can you get in easily here? No, not easy coming that way, is it either? And it's all happening. Yep, so I've done a little sneaky turn there, so that the movement continues. If I do this, come across, down, and grab, while I'm grabbing that, she's feeling it and she's attacking. Whereas if I don't try to grab it, it just continues the flow into an end. Okay. You have a go, Laura.
Oh, I don't know.
That seems fair. Other side. That's the one. Yep. Yep. Your job, Jay, when you're holding
Holding.
and extending, is really to follow. Yep. Okay, I'll give you an example of what not to do as the person doing the attacking. So this is good, but this is poor. I've just put my head on the chopping block, and that's really, that's the end of the technique. Okay, so as I feel her moving, I follow. I follow. I try to keep my body upright and stay centered. So let's just get a just across over. Just you don't have to try too hard. It's quite smooth, hopefully. Sorry, it's a brush. Yes. I don't want to do that because at that point I'm a little bit vulnerable. It's just a brush. Yeah. That's better. Yeah, it's much. Okay, Jay in. How are you offering your hand? Thank you. Is that a brush? This is a brush tool. Down. Now the hand stay up, reversed.
Oh, yes, that's
Keep her close. It's very hard to throw you from over here. From here, it's much easier. So you want no gaps between you. Yep. So we talked about what shape do you see when you talk about a hole? What shape do you see when you talk about a hole?
A circle, a round sphere.
Yeah, circle, a sphere, absolutely. That's spot on, right? So we can think of Laura as the center of her universe. She's a sphere. There's a load of energy coming out front, back, side, everywhere. I'm a sphere. Load of energy up, down, front, back, and all the rest of it. Now we're one bigger sphere. Two lots of energy together. A lot more going on when there's two lots of energy bound together. So that's what's going to be doing in our head. We're joining the power to create more power. Okay, have a go. Have you all fun? Thank you. Think about it. Let me demonstrate. How are you going to hold the sword? You're going to hold it like that? Or are you going to hold it like that? Right. So when you hold the sword like it's supposed to be used, your hand will always be like this. Yep. So this is where our stance comes from. It comes from sword movement. So we always need to bear that in mind. We're expressing power, saying, come in if you want to, matey. It's not a very good idea, but you're welcome. This is, no, you can come. I don't care. I don't mind dying. That's the importance of it. Okay, go for it, boys and girls. Boy and girl. Brush down. Stay in touch with her. Don't grab her. brush. So it's always on, it's a light touch, it's a light brush. I'm gonna take you over there, and then I'm gonna take you there. Come on, play the game. And then I'm gonna take you up here. No, it just doesn't work. But, oh, would you like to come here? How about here? What about there? How about there? It's just one continuous, smooth, sinuous feel. Snakes work in kind of circles, half circles, but so our shape is here. Then we cut down. Then we let that revert. Yay! Well done.
Very little, I can do one more of this. So it is.
Just lift your hand a little bit higher. Don't cut her in half. Brush. It's very stiff. Nice light bristles. That's it. We want a beautiful painting. So light, light, stay light, light, not force. You cannot force. You can be light. She's really powerful. So if you try to force her, it won't work. Nice. You remember you changed your hand. It was like that. And you want her here, and then you want to go that side.
I think my problem is I'm too far apart, perhaps.
I know. The idea of joining with someone else is just too much.
So,
Yes. Yes.
Don't try and force me down.
Okay, last chance. While you're doing that, carry on.
This goes together and force me.
So I'm sitting in a chair, darling. Hard work, I have to tell you. But you can still do it. Okay. So we've done a circle this way. Now we come the other way. There's an here. If we were in a chair, it would be kind of straight down. This way. Don't open up like this, I've made myself dangerous. Go this way, little circle. And then there's a circle going on here. So there's just a little one here to get on the outside. And then there's this big circle here. I have to turn my hips to stay with her, or go forward, depending on what's going on. One. Balance gone now. Have to be very little. There's always a point where either my balance goes or her balance goes. So now my balance is gone. Because I try to be above her and she's above me, she's always going to win if I try and get above her. So I have to be comfortable here. Can you come in?
No.
She can't come in. So I've still got my centre, she's got her centre. What I can now do is I can drop down. Can't go above her. But when you're shorter than the other person, you have a great advantage. You're nearer the ground. And that's usually where we want to take our partner. Now I'm taller. This is no good. That's where Laura's stretched. Okay, if I lift any more, she just lets go. But here it's like a fish on a hook. She can't let go. Because if she lets go, that's there. She's stretched now. She still can't reach me. I don't try to. Okay, not going to let that happen. I enter with my centre. So I don't do any more with my hands. We've met that boundary. I enter with my centre. Aikido is not about this forcing of the
Forced it.
It's about connection. We found the boundary between us. Now I connect our centres. That's what moves. But hold my arm for a good reason. Right? I can't enter either, but my hips can. Our shape change. Just carry on. Okay, so we're going. This should be interesting. You're both grabbing each other. I don't know who's going to do what. Okay, so be careful. If I do that, what are you going to do? Yeah. As soon as I fold that a bit, she's going to follow it and there'll be no coming out. Right? So do not give up this bubble that we've created around us. Because once the walls are breached, circles are very weak. It's like a balloon. Prick it, the whole thing collapses, right? So you've got to keep the balloon tight. So I'm not going to let her in. I'm not going to close this space. I'm going to enter her space. I can't enter it with my hand, but I can enter with my centre. So is there any pressure on your hand when I do that? No. So there's none of that going on. Okay, she can't get to me. Can you get to me? No, this is fine. So now I've found the boundary. Now I enter. My balance is gone now, so the rest of this is very easy. So we don't need no strength, which is brilliant because if you're small or weak, you don't need it. That's not where the power comes from. It's about confidence and being an integrated and whole human being. Okay, let's try it. We don't offer like that because we're not holding our sword like that. Good. You let me breach the wall there. This way, just a bit. Can you hold her out? Yes, you can. So now you lift. Now you've done it. Now enter. There you go. Good. Bring the underneath. No, you've collapsed. You've collapsed. And you've got the wrong hand. You keep your sword at her. You're not going to let her in. So you can't come in now. Now, we oh, her shape's gone. So now you follow with your centre. You, good. Underneath. Up, until her shape goes. So you didn't break her balance. You'll see it. Oh, that's a funny little hold the sword. She's gone. Enter with your centre. Follow. Okay. As she's adjusting, if you don't adjust, she'll get back to her centre. Centre, 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 always circles. It's where our power emanates from, it's where her power emanates from. We want to have a bigger circle, bigger power between us. Don't hold like that, thank you.
I just remember that we came.
We will draw it out of you in time. Okay, so on this one, on the last one, it was kind of helpful to just cock your fingers up a bit so that you could get over the top. But when you're trying to get underneath, that's distinctly unhelpful. So cock the other way. So you can do that.
Yes, I'm going in two different directions.
Yeah, you don't want to beat your head against the wall, in this case her wrist, that's too much. So you're not trying to dig a tunnel underneath it, you're brushing here. Yes, okay, and to your center, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Avoid the wall. Thank you, marvelous. Laura, have a go. Start closer to the wall so that we have no wall incidents here. Yep. Okay. So you aren't half getting a lot of information here. It's hard,
It's
right?
right. Yes, yeah, wait.
So when you go down to the floor, you go, okay, don't do this. Okay, because it's not always going to be a nice soft mat to protect your knees. Okay, so if you've got to go down, 1, 2, glide. So you're always protecting and looking after yourself. And you're also in a position to get straight back up if there's a mistake. Remember what line you need to be attacking. So, this you might get it pretty right here, but she's now pretty solid, and I can feel she's solid. If I attack her solidity, that's done. Okay, it's like me beating my head against the wall. So when there's a problem in the way, what I do is I go around it. There's a circular answer to this problem. Yeah. I don't know how thick the walls are going to be, so I'm not going to try. I'm going to find a door, and it's there, or it's there. Or it's here.
Nasty.
It's not really. It's just finding where the windows are. Okay. Same principle, just the shape looks different, but it's exactly the same idea. I'm creating a little circle at those points. Back to it. It's easier, all right. You guys like to bring the wall into play, don't you? It's the way.
Sorry, what is? I lost my grip.
So what are you moving?
The wrist.
What do you actually use?
Anything else?
Okay. Let's generate it from where?
From where?
Yeah, where are you going to generate this movement from? One guess. We're talking about circles. Ah! So we're going to turn our center, which is connected to our hips, so they will turn, and this is connected to your arm, so that will turn. It's a little bit, now we're through. So we use bits of body in an isolated way. So she just tries to do this with her arm, it gets all clunky and cold and everything. But if she stays an integrated whole, we start moving, but they cannot stop. We try to be smart, because we don't know who's the stronger physically. So we don't try to test how thick the wall is. We just avoid the wall. Much better. Makes sense? Okay, right. Okay. So from here, I attack. I should have gotten that. All right, then I'm going to leave her around. And then it's like a throw again. So if she grabs, I come to here. Then I let her power come through. And I there's a bit of an arc here. It's not this movement, it's this movement. So there's a little bit of a circle there, and then we turn our hips. And guess what? On the way down, we're turning the wrist. It's becoming a bit of a theme, isn't it? Who knows? Someone would have thought I planned this. I assure you I didn't there. One. Go. Remember, at this point, sorry, come to sorry. She has to defend, and I have to defend. So we're at the boundary. If I give a bit, she follows, which is what generates the movement. I give, but not enough to, I'm not collapsing. I'm just creating space, but I need to. Makes sense? She likes the space to roll, like seems fair. One. That's where I want that throw to come from. So now anticipate the roll, you come in, you're pushing to get in, you're pushing to get in, you're pushing to get in, and there you go. Right, what? Of course you do. I'm not going to be a stickler, I'll get out of the way. I'm smart like that. Good. And now step as you go. That's a plan.
No, no, because low lies in full control, you can decide whether you let go.
If she lets go, then you can come in and hit her.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Don't make a fist though.
Yeah, like that. I simply can't.
You need to keep that dynamic tension between you. If you run away from her, she can. Yeah. So. Good. So I'm going to do this quickly, but your problem with that is what? Yeah, I'm very open to the attack because I was not going with her power. I was adding too much.
Right,
So we didn't stay on the boundaries. I put a gap between us. Well, that means I've turned my back on her and I'm vulnerable. So I don't know how much energy she's giving me. I've got to feel that. Yeah, I'm still not open yet.
Okay, so we need slow.
Yeah. If she's slow, then you're slow. If she's quick, you're quick. Good. Stay with her. Turn, 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 step, down. Good. Down is there.
Not yet.
Not there. Don't make a fist, open your hand up. Thank you. You express best power. Turning your hips, but don't why you've broken the line between you. Stay with her. Come down a yard, please, and we can see both of you. That's good, thank you. I'm sure you want to see. That's good. Don't make a fist though, please. Turning your hips, just a bit of space. That wasn't too bad actually. You're getting there. That's a fierce attempt. So, protecting your space and guiding us to the ground. So what you're doing is you're guiding that way. It is kind of down, but it's very gradual and it's away from us. Whereas you actually kind of want to be putting her on the ground.
The part should be glass to the correct way.
Actually, just bang. If you really want to touch the ground, you can touch the ground, but in the end, you just let your energy do the work for you. She can come over the barriers anyway. Turn your hips now. Turn your hips now. That's a better shape to finish. And I won't interfere. Keep your hand not horizontal, otherwise she'll come in. Not too bad, not too bad. You can do the return journey as opposed to constantly walking back up there. It's a two-way ticket. On the other side, coming back. Port out, starboard home.
I was thinking we trade turn that you're like what you see here.
That's where the word posh came from. Did you know that? Port out, starboard home. Keep turning good. Yep, and guys. Okay. You have a go? Make sure that you've got some space to roll. Make sure you're vaguely on camera. Marvelous. Yes, defend. Yeah, good. Keep the pressure going between you. Don't break the contact. Keep coming forward, otherwise this throw doesn't happen. So if you just stand there, oh, we'll just stand there then. We'll find something else to do. Oh, you're just going to stand there.
I can stand there.
Right, okay. Yeah, so one. Oh, do it here. That's where Aikido comes from. But if they're trying to come in, then let them come in. Oh. Syncopation, the harmony is brilliant. That's the one. Follow. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah.
No, you did something wrong with this.
Well, you're just a little reluctant to follow it to the floor, and that's okay. That's okay. So, just
Is it the same thing you're doing on the picture?
yes, the same technique.
Because I think it is going on the other side that can't know what to do. I'm okay on the
The front arm is the one you're going to put on the floor and roll over. Now, let me just have a go. Yeah,
I do that.
this will be my front arm. So the one I'm defending with is the one I'm going to use as my cycle tire. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes. This is our barrier. In the same way, you grab. I'm not going to let her in. I'm not going to collapse this. Not unless it's a strategy. I can collapse it for the purpose of bringing it to my side. But generally speaking, I want to keep her out and protect myself. Get this space. Then I need to still using lots of energy. Right. So, there's only one little circle. It's only one half circle. But guess where it comes on the wrist? Yeah. So as she takes, this comes to here. Now she enters, and this comes to my side, and it's obviously possible to keep the balance. If she doesn't want to enter, I can enter.
That's the timing like us, yeah, what?
Time is everything that I can do.
That's better, otherwise, if you wait, it's too late, isn't it?
Yeah. But I'm not going to prepare for the throw because I open it up. I say, oh, what do you mean? So we do the opposite thing to the thing that seems smart, because we let her come close. Rather than, no, you must stay there, then this throw will never happen. I say, oh, come on, you know. That's where you want to be, come on in. If she doesn't want to, then I want to do something and I have to get her, and then the same thing will happen. But then my arm, instead of being here, ends up being here. And that's too low for most people. Don't practice with 3-year-olds, it won't work. Anyway, it's brutal. So, let's just try that. Yeah. Okay, so there's just one other little thing. So, if I'm thinking solely of the wrist, this doesn't work very well. What I'm doing is I'm connecting to her center. Those are easy words, but it doesn't mean much, does it? Unless I've done it for a while. But I'm thinking of all of Laura. That's the best way I can express it. I'm not thinking of Laura's wrist. That's a different feeling. Okay. This is her wrist, but that's her. This whole being, this circular sphere of energy. I'm entering her core in my mind. So one of the things you'll find that I say all the time is don't look at the thing that you're grabbing, look at the person who's attached to it. I want you to see the whole person. And the center of the whole person is her center. So that's where I most want to touch base. Yeah. And actually, I think as human beings, we do this all the time. We just don't use that sort of language for it. Yeah. But it's there you are, Lord. It's kind of, you've got yes, you've got that, it's intimate really. And it's the sort of feeling you have when you've got the permission to join together with another person. And effectively, they've given you the permission by giving you that energy of attack in the first place. You've got something to play with then. Let's go. Okay, but you're not entering the rest of your body, remember? You need to enter. Kind of is. Oh. I'd have to do it. Because you take, if we're 50-50, I can choose to go on top, right? Or I can choose to go underneath and do something. But if you're on top, I can't do it. So I have to vary the technique and do a Nikio perhaps, right? But if we're 50-50, then I can rotate this, right? You'll find that I am not doing that. I'm not pushing through. Once I've touched base with you, I relax. Yeah, that's our point of connection. It's not to take your hand off the rest of your arm. Boom, we're connected now. I've got a route through to your center. So I connect to that and I seek to join it. Yeah, okay.
I don't know, am I?
Apparently. Okay, I think you're starting as his center, and then you veer off in the direction that you're walking with. You stay with his center as you go past. So once we have this connection, we try not to break it until the move is done. Now we can create something new. Does he want to do it again, or is he had enough? Okay, cool. Your turn, Jay. Okay, so you kind of doing this to her wrist. You weren't thinking about Laura. You make the right shape. There she is. Go look for her. Okay. Yeah, you're pushing at the end. Stay connected to her. Right. Okay, I think we'll call that a day. You kind of just horseshoe. So that, yeah. Okay. One of the, I think, amazing things about Aikido is that it's teaching us to come up with a response that is the last thing we naturally want to do when somebody attacks us. So normally when someone attacks us, maybe we collapse or maybe we respond in kind. They're the kind of two normal ways of dealing with that. Neither's particularly helpful. One, we get crushed, that's not good. The other one, we crush somebody else, perhaps. Or perhaps we both get damaged, not good, okay. But in Aikido, we learn to receive an attack with actually joy and gratitude. It's a chance that, this is a chance to connect. It's not the way I want to connect, but I'm going to turn it into the sort of connection that I think people enjoy. So when I force a technique on you guys, you're not going to enjoy the results, okay? You won't, I mean, I might get you down, but you won't be thinking, oh, he's such a nice flow. But if I can take you down to the floor and you're thinking, well, I don't really know what I'm doing here. I know I was really vulnerable to getting kicked in the head and he didn't do that. Then you can develop some respect. And a positive outcome can come from respect, mutual respect. But in order to get respect, you have to give it. So we're respecting the fact that this person apparently wants to punch us, push us, kick us, headbutt us, whatever it is, rather than saying, oh, let me meet that in kind, we're saying, okay, well, fair enough, you want to do that, I'm not going to let you, I'm not going to be there when you do that, but neither am I going to do the same to you as you did to me. Yeah, and if we can get that idea in our head, that actually when somebody's getting angsty and feisty or angry or whatever it is, why? There'll be a reason. Maybe I did something that provoked that. Well, maybe I should acknowledge it. You know, that would be the way to dissipate the anger. Say, whoa, I was really stupid there. I'm so sorry. I'll never do that again. Or maybe it's because they had 20 years of being whipped when they were a child. We don't know. We don't know what induces the responses. But we have to seek to find out. And we have to think that it's motivated by something. You know, these behaviors become because they're trained in, really. And we have to accept them and work with whatever's coming out, not what we want to come out. How often in life do we get exactly what we want? Not very often, sadly. Okay. So, really simple idea, circles. But it's so, I was going to say, so central to our art. Well, it is. We work with centers, we work in circles, we are a sphere of energy. And we want to learn to be able to expand outwards, nearly always. That's the way to be. The more energy you give out, the more energy you get. Yeah. That's the way for healthy living. You breathe in, you breathe out, you breathe in, you breathe out. It's a cycle here. So you push energy out, you get new energy in, you know, nothing gets stale. And so when you talk about Reiki, we talk about blockages, don't we? Yeah. Because the flow's not right. We can get the flow going again when we get healing. And there are many healing sciences that think in that way. On the floor, any comments? Off the floor, I should say.
You forgot to mention circle of life.
A circle of life. Perfect. That's the perfect way to finish it, Vitali. Thank you. Right, so we're going to bow out with you guys. And then we'll bow out to you.
I think the thing to remember is not to move, sort of bend over.
Yes.
Because if you bend over, all your weight is forward.
Yeah, that's true, Steve.
And you can't be countered from that position.
You're very vulnerable at that point.
You know, I mean, if you're trying for an Uchimata in a 5 throw, you're coming on the inside. But in Aikido concept, you wouldn't do it because you'd be picked up from there. That's why you wouldn't do it. But it's a very dangerous technique but it's the only one that they've left now. All the others,
Never say
you
never,
know,
but you know, on the whole, we're trying to stay very upright and centered, and that usually
yeah,
a straight line into
yeah.
where it's designed. Okay, so I'm going to finish now, Steve. It's really hard when it's just you and me, or just two people. It's very intense because you're under the spotlight the whole time. You do really well under the circumstances.
I really thought about that.
There's much more opportunities to learn
Yes,
because you're getting much more teacher time,
Yeah,
but you know, it's kind of
Yeah.
time. Just going to turn the recording off.
Thank you very much.